Are dreams selfish?
Yes, I believe dreams are selfish, and I don't
Mm,
think you can you can be unapologetic about that. I
mm,
think you have to be selfish about your dreams, or
yeah,
else no one else is going to accomplish them for you. You have
yeah,
to be dedicated to the passion or to executing the plan, or else it's just a dream. It's just that.
yeah. What's up, fam? Before we get into today's episode, I want you to go check out our website at www.igotdreamspodcast.com and subscribe to our emailing list. We are creating the ultimate accountability group for entrepreneurs. So if you are an entrepreneur, if you are a business leader, if you are a dreamer, we want you to be a part of our group. All you got to do is go to www.igotdreamspodcast.com and subscribe to our emailing list, and we'll take it from there. This thing is going to be bigger than us, and we want you to be a part of it. Again, go to www.igotdreamspodcast.com and subscribe to our emailing list. Now, let's get back to the show. What's going on, good people? Welcome to another episode of the I Got Dreams podcast, the ultimate accountability podcast. Man, today I have my boy Devin here with me, man. We are off to the races already. We've been chopping it up, having a great conversation. Man, this guy can definitely help entrepreneurs go from A to B, from idea to execution, which is what we are all about. Man, what's going on, bro? How you
What's
feeling?
up now, Mike? Pleasure to be here, man. Been seeing a couple of these episodes. Glad to join you up here. So
Have you been watching the show, bro?
yeah, I've been checking you out.
What you
A
think?
couple of them. I checked out the Kimberly one.
Yeah.
But I like the energy. I like the setup. I like the equipment. I know we talked it up a little bit at the epicenter, but I'm glad to finally be up here. So
Yeah, man.
yeah,
Glad to have you, bro. Glad to
yeah,
have you. Now, man, who are you, bro? Like, who is Devin? Give us. What's your last name? First of all, I just know about Devin.
yeah. I'm Devin Emory.
Yeah.
33 now. I guess I'm back in the city of Memphis. I grew up here. Uh, I wasn't born here. I was born in Germany. So my dad was in the military. But both my dad and my mom are from Bunker Hill in South Memphis, right behind Hamilton High. And grew up with my grandma and my mom primarily, for the most part. Went to Dunn Avenue Elementary in the city of Memphis, uh, and then Colonial Middle School and Wooddale High alum. So after that, I went to Morehouse. Uh, after I don't know, contemplating where I wanted to go, leaving this city, had a little time in Morehouse. And after school, I had the brand House Sports established. So I know we're gonna talk a little bit about that, but
Yes, sir.
after doing that, I stayed in Atlanta for quite some time. Atlanta was home 2.0 for me. Ended up teaching back at Morehouse as a professor there for a couple of years, and decided I wanted to come back home. Did some things with the epicenter last fall, and now I'm back here working in education.
Awesome. Good
Yeah.
deal, bro. Good deal. So you mentioned your business, bro. Like, so tell us about it. Like, what is it, bro? What you're
Mhm.
trying to accomplish with it?
House Sports is a sports social network. I'm aiming for it to be the home of all sports fans. It's a real time ecosystem available in the App Store and at housesports.com on mobile today. It's a free platform, always will be. It's like the Twitter for sports fans. And I'm a storyteller, so I've been doing storytelling via documentary since 2021. House Sports has been an Atlanta company. We still are based in Atlanta, and we still also now have a foreign entity in Tennessee. So we've expanded since I've been here, and we've been storytelling. I've been talking about fans in different markets. So I've been telling 2 documentaries in Atlanta, and now I'm here in Memphis, and we're starting to do it here.
Awesome. Good deal,
Yeah.
bro. So you got two businesses. Um, is it House Sports?
No, House
And
Sports is all one right
oh,
now,
okay, so it's
but
all in the one
yeah,
business.
but I've through the epicenter and through some brain tooling here, I have seen the future of House Sports. So House Sports Media and House Sports Cares are going to be the next chapters. House Sports Media is what we're already doing with storytelling. I just said we need to be a media company.
Right.
But I understand it to be a marketing arm for me now, and to kind of garner attention to the brand and say, "Oh, who is that? They're cool. Let me follow y'all on social."
Yeah.
We're building a community right
Yeah.
now. So,
Awesome, bro.
yeah.
So what's the dream for House Sports?
The dream for House Sports is for everybody to be on the platform who loves sports. It's to be like an ideal home for sports fans. Right now, I have a mantra of "Help us build a better house." That's my favorite thing to say to people. And that's for people to come on and be a beta tester and say, hey, Devin, this doesn't work, or hey, you need to add this feature, or house sports would be more cool if it had this, because we need that feedback, and I'm not afraid of it. So customer discovery, try to embrace it in every way, and in the meantime, in between time, let's do some cool things on social. And we're doing a tailgate coming up. I'm excited about a lot of things right now.
Nice, bro.
Yeah.
What your tailgate gonna be?
So Labor Day weekend. We're going to be in Nashville. It's my first activation. We're having an activation in Nashville for the Tennessee Vols and the Virginia game, the Virginia Cavaliers. So they're going to play the season opener, Titan Stadium, 11 a.m. Central, and we're going to be outside doing a tailgate for house sports.
Oh, that's what's up.
I'm calling it a fan press conference or a fan presser. We're house sports media. We're unlike other traditional media arms that have been around sports, where they are trying to cover the game and provide news and information. House sports media, we are focused on the fan. We celebrate fanhood. We do fan documentaries like I've been doing. That's like more long form. But in these activations, I'm calling it a fan press conference. I'm going to have a step and repeat, and also a podium, and have fans step behind the podium. And before the game, I'm just trying to capture raw emotion.
Yeah.
I want people to tell me, hey, we about to go kill Virginia over here. It's been a long time. Rocky Top is back. I want to hear the sentiments of the fans. So
I'm laughing, bro,
yeah.
because my wife is a Tennessee fan. Well, she's a Tennessee grad. I went to Ole Miss, so I'm an Ole Miss grad. So we always
the Rebels,
right?
Right.
We're always going head to head when it's on the football, bro.
Little golf balls out here or something, like Kiffin.
right. But that was crazy. We was
Yeah.
actually at that game, man. It was so wild. I had on my Ole Miss shirt, bro.
Yeah.
When they started throwing stuff, I'm like, yeah, we gotta get up out of here, bro. Like, we gotta go. I ain't want to get caught up in none of that.
I understand it. Wrong place at the wrong time. Then you
Exactly.
Ole Miss one. It's a crazy time, right?
Exactly. But I'm looking at you, bro. I'm looking at your hat. I'm looking at what you got in your lap there, man. You're obviously a Lakers fan.
Yeah, I'm a Lakers fan. I didn't know if I wanted to put on, Magic jersey, or if I just wanted to rock the no bandwagoning T-shirt on the podcast here. So I chose to go with the no bandwagon and still rep the Lakers in some way.
Yeah, I got you, bro. I got you, man. Let me ask you this, bro: are dreams selfish?
Yes, I believe dreams are selfish, and I don't think you can you can be unapologetic about that. I think you have to be selfish about your dreams, or else no one else is going to accomplish them for you. You have to be dedicated to the passion or to executing the plan, or else it's just a dream. It's just that,
Yeah, bro, that's a dope answer, bro. And I fully agree, man. I do think to a very high extent that dreams are selfish, but like you said, like no one's gonna do it for you. Like you gotta get out there and do it yourself, man. And then, matter of fact, let me start right here. I was talking to this business owner this past week, right? And so he was like, Mike, what's the number one rule in building a business, right? And starting a business, right? And so I was like, to make people happy, like so you can get back to the community. it's like nah, bro. Like the number one rule is to make profit. Like that's it. That's what you're in the business for, to make profit. And I thought to myself, like, that's selfish, but it's real. Like, how can you help somebody if you don't have the means to help them? Right?
Yeah, you can't pour from an empty cup. They say
you can't pour from an empty cup.
Gotta have something there.
Yeah. And then I always think about the airplane analogy, like put your mask on first
before you help somebody else.
Exactly. Put your oxygen on first before you help somebody else.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's dope, bro. So, what's your dream, bro? With house sports. So, how did you come up with this concept, bro?
Oh man. So it goes back to college. My sophomore year of college, I had a dream. And it's crazy. It's crazy, man. Like, I went to Morehouse because I was always enamored with the life of Dr. King. Being from Memphis, you just internalize, or I did as a kid, Black history facts. Black history in sports was something I just gravitated toward as a kid. Like I was reading sports almanacs in elementary school. No, Dr. King, April 4th, 1968, was assassinated here. And that was just something that just stuck with me in this city, Lorraine Motel. My freshman, sophomore year of college, I had to do volunteering at Morehouse in the summertime, and I did that at the Lorraine Motel. They gave me room 306, and I gave the tour of the whole, not just conspiracy of the night, but how he would normally frequent the Lorraine Motel and Dorothy Cotton and Albert Nathy, how they shared a room. But him passing left a legacy and a stain on the city. And I always question why, at the end of this tour, it just ended right here at the balcony, or we went across the street and talked about James Earl Ray and like FBI conspiracy 1 through 8, and what they were comfortable telling. I always said this should end at Mason's Temple. We should go to the place where he gave the mountaintop speech. That's something that we should celebrate. They killed the dream, or they did not kill the dream. The dream still lives through all of us. And I think that's the magic of being in Memphis. And I think we got to start telling that story and highlighting this rich history that we do have.
Yeah.
Changing the narrative a little bit.
Yeah.
A pivot.
Yeah, I feel you, bro.
Yeah.
And so your company is helping to continue on with Dr. King's legacy.
In a lot of ways, I don't know. I just found it was ironic when I ended up at Morehouse my sophomore year, getting back to House Sports, that my sophomore year I had a dream. And in the dream, the name House Sports came to me. And I woke up and I wrote it down on a sheet of paper. And when I was writing it down, if you want to talk sports, take it to the house. It kind of flew. It just came like a stream of consciousness. I wrote it down too. I went to my homie Gio. I was like, Gio, like, what do you think about the name House Sports? He was like, man, it sounds cool. And this guy named Jordan Jackson, man, shout out to Jordan. He ended up doing some dope graphic design stuff after Morehouse. But I went to him and was like, yo, you did this William Tucker Society poster on campus. Can you design this idea I have, House Sports? And he did some block letters, House Sports. It was kind of like antiquated vintage style. With if you want to talk sports, take it to the house, the slogan around it. Man, people loved that design, man. And people wanted to have the sweatshirt and the t-shirt. And that was my first marketing employee, but that's how House Sports started. And I wanted House Sports to be the baby ESPN. So I was African American Studies major at Morehouse. Big on Black Studies still. But I wanted House Sports to be like the Africana Sports Network for global Africans. I guess Pan African is ESPN. Like, look at all the Black greatness all over the globe. And House Sports was going to be like the flagship program, like Sports Center, where we would kind of bring it all together every day at a particular time, 6 p.m. or something. But eventually I stopped that radical view of trying to be this Black centered thing and said, let House Sports be the home for everybody. And we had a student group while we were there. Like I said, we were trying to be the baby ESPN. So Morehouse had D2 sports. Like it wasn't like Tennessee and Ole Miss, but Morehouse, Spelman, and Clark Atlanta, they played in the AUC, and we would have a sports team to go cover them. A videographer, a photographer, and a journalist at every game. And game stories, tweeting out the scores back in like early 2010s type of thing. But people started to garner our attention, and we had a blog back then, a Twitter account. And that's how the brand got established as a student group. I eventually chartered the student group at Morehouse, and it lived for about 5 years before it lost its activity. But ESPN ended up sponsoring House Sports Weekend when I was at Morehouse, like the month before I graduated. And they sent Jamil Hill and J.A. Adunde back in the day.
That's big.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was the greatest little graduation gift for me to create the student org and ESPN sponsor the weekend before I graduated.
Can you slow down a little bit for me?
I got you. What's up?
Bro, you said ESPN like sponsored your brand.
Yeah.
And so how did you get that to happen? Well, first of all, you had the vision of being the baby ESPN.
Yeah.
And then now you got ESPN actually sponsoring it, bro.
Like,
that's like a dream come true, right?
Until this moment, until the I Got Dreams podcast, I never thought about it like this. I never did, really. But you can manifest some things, and then I guess my life is a testimony of what happened, I guess. But yeah, like writing down things is powerful. Kimberly, during one of my coaching sessions, said, Devin, you should get a journal. And Devin, keep planting those seeds, because I guess if you keep going down a certain path, you'll bear the fruits of your labor. So yeah,
that's dope, bro. So with the Jamil Hill and ESPN
sponsorship, bro,
so how did you do that? Did you reach out to them, or they just saw what you were doing? And was like, let me be a part?
I had a cheat code.
What was the cheat code, bro?
The cheat code was I had I told you we chartered the student
Yeah.
house sports, so I went through Morehouse, made an official student group, and you needed to have an advisor.
Yeah.
And I went to the guy who was the advisor of the student newspaper at the time called the Maroon Tiger. His name is Ron Thomas, and Ron Thomas is a veteran, NABJ journalist. He had covered Dr. J back in the day in the '60s. Wrote a book called "They Cleared the Lane," and he was my professor. He taught me how to write AP style, and I was a copy editor for the Maroon Tiger. Like I volunteered my Sundays for like 2 years, Mike, just to learn how to copy edit. And I was one of the slower copy editors. I guess I wasn't the most proficient at the time. But over the course of 2 years, I got better, and they would always give me the sports section. Devin, you got sports. Mr. Thomas, I guess I was just bringing up the rear, but I saw who he was to the Maroon Tiger. And when I formed House Sports, I went to him and said, "Hey, it's a sports social network. It's a sports. It's a sports media company providing coverage to the AUC, and we need an advisor." And he bid on it. He took us serious, and I would say we had better coverage than the Maroon Tiger that year.
Yeah.
And Maroon Tiger people, they get paid. The staffers at the newspaper get paid. We were not getting paid, Mike, and we were still kicking.
Y'all running off of passion.
Yeah, we were running off of passion, Mike. Yeah, we had about 25 people on staff. I had recruited. We had recruited, not me, but we had about 25 people say, "Yo, I want to help y'all. I want to work for y'all."
Yeah.
And
For
they were
free.
for free. They were our peers, and they wanted to get work samples.
Yeah.
Saying, "Hey, I've covered sports before in college, and look at my reel. I got it on the blog, and we published people." And because I volunteered to be a copy editor for those 2 years for the school paper, I was pretty good myself that third year, copy editing the blog. And Ron Thomas, I came to him, and he was like, no, he gave me a media credential to cover a game in Atlanta, and I said, "Yo, we need to do something big," because I saw. No, it wasn't. It wasn't after a media credential. We went to this NABJ convention before my senior year, and at the end of the NABJ convention, Ron Thomas had all his students at the table, and I gave him feedback. I said, "Look, you know a lot of people. People highly revere you. I did not know you were such a legend in the media field. You know, you're like a black pioneer in the sports world, in the sports writing world for sure." And man, I guess he loved the angle of the pitch I gave him, and that little idea. He reached out to people to pull together a conference, and some of the people were ESPN hotheads, and they sent the funds and the personnel. And Edwin Moses got highlighted that year at House Sports Weekend, and I received the Student Spike Lee Sports Journalist of the Year award that year. It was a big night. I thought it was going to be the beginning of something magical, but that was, man, like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
About no, it was 11 years ago.
Yeah, bro. That's so dope, though. Bro. Yeah. That's so dope, man. Bro, I'm really in awe of that story, man, because I love the hustle. Because I started my first business in college too, right? Mm-hmm. And so it didn't do as nearly as well as you did, bro. But like we did get funding, we received funding, we were able to build the app and all that good stuff, bro. But it's just something about like when you're young and feisty, bro, and like you got that grind in you. Yeah. It's like when you're young, bro, like you can just go out there and do anything because you believe like anything is possible, bro. Yeah. And that's why I started this podcast to get people to continue to believe that their dream is possible, bro. Yeah. Like they can go from A to B, from idea to execution. They can reach their dream, bro.
They really can.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, bro. And so, man, that's big, bro. I appreciate you for sharing that story. I do have a quick question in regards to that story though. So, like, what benefit, like, when you were grinding, you got 25 people on staff. Like, what were you getting from those 25 people, or from like the work that they were doing?
Man, Mike, it was just genuine. Like they saw me, and I had so after I had that vision of House Sports and I wrote it down, we started the blog that summer. We had housesports.wordpress.com. I think it's probably you can still find it. WordPress blogs never die. Yeah. But we had that up, and one of the guys in my class, Ron Thomas, ended up, he was my professor. he came in one of our classes and started the class by reading one of my papers. He said, "I want to read this paper to the class," and he's reading my work, and I'm leaning back. I'm like, "Wow, like this is happening!" Like Ron Thomas reading my work to all my peers, and man, people were like, "Wow, who is that? Is that one of the people who published somewhere?" And Ron Thomas was like, "No, that was Devin." And John, this guy named John Smith, he was the fullback at Morehouse, and that was a whole nother thing. I played football at Wooddale, like legit. I was a safety, and I played.
You were good.
I was decent, like
Okay.
we were big time football, 5A, 6A. It was big as the division guy before Wooddale started to decline. But I would like to say I played at Wooddale in our heyday.
I got
Yeah, JP at quarterback. I had a guy named Rod Davis at wide receiver, and man, dynamic offense, and we were pretty good on defense. Yeah, we were all right. But my junior and senior year, I played rover safety, outside weak side safety, I guess. And the free safety was a guy named Terrio Stotts. We ended up at Morehouse together. He ended up starting at Morehouse my freshman and sophomore year, and I decided not to play football. But there was a guy who played fullback, and he was starting. His name was John Smith. John Smith took one of the journalism classes with me and was there sitting next to me when Ron Thomas was reading my paper. And he literally said this. I don't know if we can curse on here, Mike, but
trying to keep it PG.
try to keep it PG. Well, I'm gonna clean it up then. he said, "Oh, Emory, you think you the stuff, don't you?" I was like, "Man, I'm all right, bro." And he decided that we should. He asked me if we should, if I wanted to do a blog with him, and that's how we started the blog. I said I already got a name for it. Man. I can start it today. We started it. That was 2010. I covered the Western Conference of the NBA playoffs. He covered the Eastern Conference, and it was kind of like covering the games virtually before the games were virtual, because we knew how to write AP style. The games were on TV. We just acted like we were there, and we saw the press conference after the game. We just took the quotes, and put together a game story and put it on our blog. Man, we got back to campus, and people had actually looked at our blog. We didn't think that they did, but it was the beginning of our brand. And we became the sports guys, did radio. And after that, we started covering the AUC, and I charted the org, and people started to join us. We saw what y'all doing. We see what y'all doing. Like, I want to do it too. But my senior year, we had freshmen pulling up with cameras. I was like, "Look, you ever shot that before? You ever covered sports before? I got a picture there, And I said, I can get you a media credential, give you something real. And people did it. And to this day, people would come to us and say, "Man, if it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't be in journalism." And that's so gratifying, like, because that's like the blessings you never see, you know. But that was the beginning of House Sports, and we had a Facebook group. On the Facebook group, it was just people I knew, and then people that John knew initially. He joined. He added 50 people that he knew liked sports. I added 50, and he just took my Facebook and was like, "Emory, you got more friends than I got." And he kept doing that with other people. Like, "Let me see your Facebook account and add people that you talk sports with." Man, he stopped around, like, I don't know, 1,000 people. But those 1,000 people added 2 people. Added more people. We had about 5,000, 6,000 fans in our group. And that's when we started doing radio. In 2012, we did House Sports Internet Radio in the house that I was renting in Atlanta. And I did the podcasting and editing back then, put it on iTunes. Mike, 2012 to 2014, we did 150 shows. Mike said, "Are you nervous?" I said, "Mike, I'm not nervous, man."
But I see you now, bro. Hey, I see you now. Hey,
but
do your thing, bro. You done turned me into a fan over here, bro. I'm just
stop
listening,
it, Mike.
Bro. Nah, you inspiring your boy over here for real, man. This is good stuff, bro.
After doing those 150 shows, I probably left maybe 20 episodes on iTunes, just to show we did it back then, leave our digital footprint. But yeah, Mike, we knew then that we didn't want to just have a Facebook. But our Facebook group's heyday was 2014, 2015. After that, we saw the decline of how people were using Facebook. In that community, our small community, people still posting it today, but it's not as vibrant as it once was. But I have seen Facebook still be a viable place. I'll get to that later. But yeah, we knew we didn't want to stay on Facebook, and 2016 we ended up starting House Sports, the LLC. And started to build housesports.com. And we recruited family friends to join us who had technical skills. We bought housesports.com, the domain. And I did the trademarks for the name House Sports and No Bandwagon.
Let me ask you
Yeah.
this, bro. Before so we in 2016.
Yep.
I want to stay right there.
Uh-huh.
So I want to go. I want to put a pin in 2016, but I want to go back. I think you said 2014, 2015. That's when you really started getting active on Facebook, and your Facebook was growing.
Yeah.
Or that's probably where you saw the decline.
Yeah.
But anyway, you mentioned building a community on Facebook, right?
Mhm.
And so I know a lot of entrepreneurs nowadays, like that's the main thing, like building an entrepreneur. I mean,
Yeah.
building a community around your product, around your service, Facebook groups, and all that good stuff, man. How were you guys able to garner so much attention and so much activity in your Facebook group, like back in the day?
I just think it was the timing.
It was timing.
Sometimes it could be divine timing. Like,
Yeah.
2006, 2005, that's when Facebook really launched, or something, was 2004 or something like that. But yeah, by 2010, the groups were a thing. We just hit it, struck when the iron was hot, they said. And I guess people were using Facebook like people use Instagram now.
Yeah.
And groups were the hot thing. We had this strong base of people. And then that nucleus was there, but then people were like, are these people just at Morehouse and this AUC or something? Or is this, what's going on? Man, we had people all over this country. Like, we had people who were deployed overseas, U.S. Armed Forces. And we never knew that we would have such a huge demand there. But people get overseas, they don't have their family anymore. They like to talk about sports. For some reason, the NFL was always accessible to them.
Yeah.
So they always wanted somebody to engage them. And our group was perfect for that. So we understood what type of niche we had. And via the radio show. Man, like 678-705-969. We just never forget it. We had a similar setup like this. Mike, I had a 4-switch audio system, JK audio board with like a little mixer board and a little screen kind of similar to this, Mike. I'm telling you. Had a house sports on the wall in the west end of Atlanta. But
you still cold with production?
I'm all right, but it's a lot of work. Like, it's a lot of work sometimes. I never learned to love it. Let me say that.
I was gonna say, bro.
Yeah,
you talking like you know a little
I know what it's like. I know a little bit about a lot of things, but nah.
I feel you. I'm about to say, bro, come on, help me with this studio. Help me, cause bro, you don't see no switchboard right here.
Listen. If I can find it, you got it. I promise you, Mike.
Yeah, good deal, bro. So, all right, so we in 2016 now. So, like, I think you said like you were getting help like from your family and your friends.
Yeah,
I'll let you pick up right there.
Yeah. So John is from Mobile, Alabama. And man, John became like a brother to me over the 10, 11 years that we were together. So we went from college friends to we started the brand together to radio show co-partners. But the Facebook, let me go back to that. The Facebook group, we would put our dial-in number because we had a live show. So we would be streaming.
How'd you go live?
It was like live 365, and then it was like
it was on the radio?
No, it was like internet stream.
Okay, gotcha.
Internet stream. Yeah.
On Facebook?
No, it was like our own internet channel.
On your own website?
Yeah. Okay, so we had housesportsinternetradio.com. Yeah. Housesportsradio.com, I'm sorry. Housesportsradio.com, and then we had Vozcast, Live 365, whatever platforms we use to actually cast ourselves or to stream. And then I would record the shows to always do the podcast and edit it later.
Gotcha.
But people could actually, we had Xfinity broadband internet and Wi-Fi. I mean, broadband internet and a 4-phone line system. And I used that 4-phone line system to be like a switch through this JK audio thing, little tool. And that allowed us to literally take callers. Yeah. And man, Mike, the people on our Facebook group were calling from Seattle, Washington. They were calling from all over. And we would say, okay, who's your team? Who you repping? And we'd be talking about, I don't know, it'd be NFL, just like now. NFL season, week 1, who you got? Who's your team? And it would be Thursday. We'd have Pick 'em Thursday. That'll be the theme of the show. Yeah. And me and John start off going through the weekly games, debating on who we think's going to win. People would call in and either agree with John or disagree with Devin. Like, they about to engage one of us. We're going to have a round robin, get the caller off, next caller on. Like, and we try to keep it hot. But, Mike, when I tell you no commercials, like, I can say, this is brought to you by Devin. Like, we didn't understand, like, having a PSA. Devin dropped, like, House Sports and give them, like, information on how they could follow the brand. Like, that's a free commercial for you, bro. Like, I didn't understand it back then, but we were ahead of our time, I guess, in terms of the live streaming world. But yeah, the community helped us with the show itself.
Yeah.
And then people started to say, hey, I can't wait till next week. Or I want to call in next week. I'm going to call my partner. We're going to join the show. We saw the people within our Facebook community who like to be on radio.
Right.
And that was a cool thing. But yeah, we understood we didn't want to just be that. Our mantra was we're not experts either on the radio show. We wanted people to engage us like fans because we were just fans, even though we were doing our media thing. But yeah, we knew we had to kind of move into the tech arena and get off of Facebook and have our own space.
Yeah.
And that's what the vision became for housesports.com.
Awesome. So, bro, that's dope, man. Like, bro, I mean, I'm like, I can't say it enough, bro. I'm just in here just getting absorbing the information and getting inspired. So, like, now you're moving off the Facebook platform and onto tech.
Yeah.
So now you guys are developing an app at this time.
Yes, we are developing an app because John is from Mobile, and at the time, John's mother was doing. She was a hairstylist, and one of her clients was this lady named Felicia, who was Felicia is a back end engineer by trade. As fate would have it, John is telling his mom about what he's trying to do in the tech world and how he just bought housesports.com. And man, John's mom said, "You need to talk to my son while she doing her hair," And Felicia, I guess it took her, I don't know how long to do her hair or whatever, but she took John's mom serious. And John and Felicia started getting on the phone. John had a journal, and he had sketched out each page of the website. This is what the big board would look like. This is what the nation board would look like. And Felicia, in her logic mind, was able to get the pictures of the journal and come link up with John when he would go home. And she would start working on house sports at her own pace. Let me say that, Mike. She took us all seriously, but initially she was working at her own pace, Mike. And it was a hobby. It was a passion project for her. She was helping a family friend or somebody that she had been a client of. So, yeah. But Felicia ended up being one of our key partners. She was our eyes and ears in the tech world, understood the terminology. I'm like, Felicia, I don't know what this means. Devin, you need to read this. Subscribe to TechCrunch. Like, she started to put me on. Like, and every time we had to deploy the app, me and Felicia would always have to interface.
Yeah.
All right, Devin, what's the password for this or that? And pass some things over to the iTunes store, not iTunes store, but the test flight. And then from test flight, you get deployed into the app store. So,
cool, bro. So, like, up to this point, have you guys spent any money on house sports?
What's 2016 or to now?
To when you met Felicia.
Felicia, yeah. We had spent the money on the radio show, for sure. But outside of that, no. Maybe some small time guys we had to get knocked around to get to understand they weren't legit. Paid a little bit of money here and there to see, you're building this on Wix, bro. Like, stop, get out of here, man. Like, you're not legit. We had to learn what a developer was, what an engineer could do. What's good, what's bad, and we had no frame of reference initially. So yeah, I was a African American studies major and a journalist, and John was an English major and a journalist. But I was more of a writer. He was more of a talker. He could go one take, not a problem. I'm more of a give me my script, I can knock it out the park. But when you get nervous, I can take it from you, and we kind of worked well. I was kind of the guy in the back, but I was more of the fire of house sports. It was my baby as much as he came to me after we were doing the radio show and said, Devin, we should build a sports social network. It was his idea to get off of Facebook. And my response to him naturally was, how we going to do that? Like, it wasn't like, bro, get out of here, you crazy. It was, bro, I come from South Memphis. How we going to do that? Like, it's a miracle I'm in Morehouse. Like, what are you talking about? But yeah, I said, how we going to do that? And I was optimistic. I could see the vision. And it was still my name. House Sports, it came to me. I was like, my baby just went left. Like, no problem. Like, but yeah, I supported it. And, man, it just started to manifest. When I tell you, Mike, it started to come together. It came together.
Yeah. Right, that's dope, bro. Have you and John had any issues, like, or partnership goes?
Oh, man.
Have y'all ever, like, butted heads?
Man, all the time we used to. So it's crazy you say that, but me and John stopped formally working together on house sports last year. And it was one of the main catalysts for me leaving Atlanta and saying I need to go back home to Memphis. Atlanta was cool. I like Atlanta. It's still home 2.0. But Memphis is home 1.0. I've been gone for about 15 years, and it meant a lot to be really the author of my dominion and go anywhere I want to go. House Sports is a virtual company, a tech company, man. I can go anywhere Wi-Fi is, you know.
Yeah.
And Memphis is 6 hours away, 5 hours away from Atlanta. I can always go back. I like to travel, Mike. So yeah, it was John had ran his race with House Sports and no longer had passion for the project. And we had an amicable split, and House Sports became Devin's vision moving forward. But yeah, prior to Mike, we would be like rams in a room, man, butting in the middle. Like, I mean, I was passionate about which direction I wanted to go, and he was adamant about which way he wanted to go. But we were supposed to be this two-headed monster, brothers to the end, you know. But you know, people grow up, and this is probably my first time really talking about this. Like, but yeah, he came to me last September, and we had that talk. And man, you saw me, Mike. I was at the epicenter in the fall, so I started to make moves. I had already been teaching at Morehouse. I was like, look, man, I came, I saw, I conquered. Let me go back where I think I matter at. And Memphis is a smaller market, but I think I see a lot of beautiful things happening here. So
yeah. I mean, I know that split could have been tough. Was it like out of left field, or did you see it
nah,
coming?
man, the writing was kind of on the wall. And for me, like I said, I was kind of the guy who had the fire of House Sports, but I had been that guy in the back of the room, the cleanup man. You know, I get the rebound and do what's necessary for the team to win. But I honestly felt like I could have been more vocal as a leader, and I'm embracing that season right now. Like, so I'm excited for it. And like I said, I got some stuff we're doing next weekend. Like, so this is my first time. It's been about a year of me retooling House Sports and getting to Memphis and trying to get my bearings here, but now I'm stepping up to the plate. It's time to play.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
You trying to hit home runs, or you trying to get like first base?
I'm trying to be consistent.
Okay.
That's the key.
Little first base.
I told you we did 150 shows. Like, you got to be consistent. Like, nobody cares about that home run. They say do it again. They say do it again. They say be Hank Aaron. Go sit down, man. You gonna be a one-time wonder, or you gonna be here tomorrow? I'm gonna be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that's my plan.
I feel that. What's it been like being like the one man band for this year, man? Like, what has that journey been like? Like trying to build House Sports on your own, get the brand out there, get people to join the app that you guys have. Like, what has that journey been like?
Man, like, it's been a little bit of a challenge. But at the same time, I have been embracing the journey. You know, you gotta relocate. I underestimated relocation fees, but then you get here. You know, I think like I got strong credentials. You know, for what did you saw The Last Dance and Isaiah Thomas?
Yeah,
and he's like, I had the criteria. I met the criteria, but for some reason I wasn't selected. That was going on with me for some time getting here. You know, I was like, I thought I was the man, but opportunities were kind of passing by. So it was kind of a time where you had to buckle down on your faith. And you know, I went from being on the collegiate level to working in the K through 12 setting. But I'm embracing it. Like you need to have funding. I did as man. I guess coming here, I guess I have been embracing like, you know, never having a safety net. You know, you can have family and friends, but for the most part, I knew at this point in life, you know, you slip, that's where you get, that's where you're gonna be at. So I think I've been very fortunate and blessed, Mike. And now I'm in a time where I have a little bit of time to kind of plan some things and execute, and I'm not just trying to survive anymore, Mike. So I'm excited. So I think what's about to happen here is very, very exciting.
So what's about to happen?
Well, I know I've been talking about how we got here. So with John leaving, I also lost a graphic designer. He was over our UI UX Bethel, and I maintained Felicia. Felicia stayed on the team. I'm supposed to be linking with Felicia soon over the next week. So She's gonna come to Memphis. We might go to the epicenter, and I show her around Memphis for a little bit. But we are focusing on social and storytelling. And I told you I started doing some documentaries in 2021, and those two 5-minute pieces became the base of House Sports Media. And we did Ticket Jerry, who's like a ticket scalper in Atlanta, for like the last 20 years. If you know, you know. You can get a ticket to the Braves or the Fox Theater. It don't matter. His tickets are going to check out cheaper than retail. But he wasn't officially official, but he was the people champion. Told Ticket Jerry's story. I wasn't a native Atlantean at all. I wasn't an ATLian. But he embraced us. And man, he was the first story. Ticket had about 16 or 20,000 followers on Instagram. He reposted us to his page. And I learned, like, yo, it was great that you posted this as a video or your story, but if you made it a post and tagged us, man, we would get so much more traction.
Right.
But nah, Ticket is the man. I can hit him up. He knows who we are. We know who he is. He did a promo. He endorsed us and shouted us out. It was all love. And after that, I reached out to a guy. He was a huge Atlanta United fan named Santa United, and told Santa United story in 5 minutes. His wife is Mrs. Claus. They dress up as Santa and Mrs. Claus, go to the soccer game down there. And he's probably one of the most notable or distinguishable fans in their community. And I was trying to capture the Atlanta market and tell Ticket Jerry story. You can go through Ticket for any type of ticket, tell a soccer story. And while I was doing that with Santa United, Mrs. Santa, she said, "You got to do the Bird Lady next." And I said, "Man, who the hell is the Bird Lady? I'm not a Falcons fan. Like, what's going on?" And
you know what's crazy? I'm a Falcons fan.
You're a Falcons fan? Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy. Well, it's a lady named Keisha Burns. Keisha Burns was the original Atlanta Falcons Bird Lady. She would dress up as a Falcon and go to the games with a full, attire on, makeup. People could still see her face a bit behind a mask, but man, bro, she was going to the games in the mid '90s. Was there when they made it to the Super Bowl for that run. Was on BET. We had radio appearances with Big Tigger, not Big Tigger, Ryan Cameron, in Atlanta, and then was at all the games for about 15, 20 years. Like, and so when I started to tell her story, I was learning who she was as I was telling her story, as I was doing my homework on her. And every day her story got more complex, and another layer. And I was like, man, did I bite off more than I can chew here? Like, what's going on? I would start shooting her. She told me to come to this. First time I met her out to shoot. It was a pep rally for the Falcons. They were about to play the Falcons. They were about to play the Eagles. And 2021, Michael Vick was there. And he was on stage with Ryan Cameron, who used to be the co-host there on Falcons Friday or something like that. And man, Ryan Cameron is on stage. I am shooting the Bird Lady for the first time. And I say, "Hey, how you doing? I'm Devin. Nice to meet you." I introduce myself to Bird Lady. And she's like, "All right, come follow me this way." And before we can get over to the stage, I had about 4 or 5 people stop and say, "Bird Lady, can I get a picture with you? Bird Lady, can I get a picture with you?" Now, I haven't been out.
Did she have on birds or something, bro?
She had on her attire, but she didn't have on her helmet. Okay. She didn't have on her mask.
What? How did she look like? What was her attire?
I mean, I got it on my phone, but I think like she had on like a little shorts or whatever with long socks.
Did she look like a bird?
Yeah, she looked like a bird. Okay, but people knew who she was. Right? They came up to her and said "Bird Lady," but she wasn't the official Atlanta Falcons mascot. Yeah. Like, she's not Harry the Bird. Like, whatever the Falcons call. I don't know. It's the Harry the Hawk, or I don't know, Freddie the Falcon. She's not Freddie the Falcon. Okay.
I guess you can tell that I'm not a big Falcons fan, but they are my team though.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have a mascot.
Listen, but the Bird Lady, Keisha, she was the original one. But there was another Bird Lady that came along. Her name was Carolyn Freeman. I told you it's a very complex story. Like, but no, the first day I was shooting her at the pep rally, people were stopping me, and then I was like, "Wow, this lady's bigger than I think she is." And then during the pep rally, Ryan Cameron says, "Oh, we got Keisha in the house, the original Bird Lady." And I'm like, "Wow, like he knows her." Like I didn't know at the time when she used to be on radio, and it was just a magical time. But I was like, "Wow, I might need more than 5 minutes to tell her story."
Right.
And to this day, we have not published the documentary yet. It's going to be about 20 minutes minimum. It might be a part 1, part 2. I'm wrapping it up right now. I told her I was going to have it done by October 1. So after that, I'm going to start, shooting my long form, my documentary out here, trying to hit some festivals. So
Awesome, bro.
yeah.
So where when it's finished, or when the Bird Lady one is finished, and Ticket Jerry,
Ticket Jerry's finished. Sandy and Ninety's already done. Yeah.
where can we watch it? Where can we find it?
On our YouTube, on our Instagram, at House Sports. That's it. House Sports on Instagram, House Sports on YouTube. Like, yeah, check us out. And YouTube and Instagram are going to be our primary channels for people to follow us. We have a blog.housesports.com. That's where I'm sending people right now. And if you want to be a beta tester and help us build a better house, you can always go to housesports.com itself and sign up for a user account.
Yeah, awesome, bro, man. This has been a really dope conversation, man. Where is House Sports like right now, and what are you guys trying to do?
I told you next week. I'm excited. Labor Day weekend, we're going to be in Nashville for the game. We're doing a tailgate activation. I'm calling it a fan press conference or a fan presser, where it's going to be a step and repeat, a podium in front of it. People have 60 seconds to express how they feel about their team before the game. And then right after the game, I'm capturing raw emotion again at the podium. We're going to be giving out wristbands for Tennessee Vols fans. And then we're also, I call these fan on the street interviews.
Yeah.
After I get a certain number of fan press conference interviews, I'm going to get about 4 or 5, maybe minimum, fan on the street interviews where I'm catching people walking into the stadium and talking to them about their fan experience.
Yeah, Ray just gave me a great idea, bro.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to. So I'm getting my logo redone now by professional. Bro, she told me a price. I was like, bro, it's an investment. It's an investment, bro. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna take it, put it on some shirts, and I'll get it, like make a double design and go to pop-up shop.
Yeah.
So like, my podcast is for entrepreneurs, and so people at pop-up shops are entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah.
Like those who are participating in the pop-up shop.
Yeah.
I could just like bring a microphone or something and interview them there too.
Yes, you could.
Yeah.
You could. I think that
stuff.
right there on the spot, get your content. Like, everything is content.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, man. So you already told us how we can help you. You're looking for beta testers for that app. Where can we go to actually sign up to be a beta tester?
Housesports.com. Okay. Housesports.com. It'll send you to the iOS app for sure in the Apple Store. Android too. We're still up in Android. But like I said, we're taking feedback and we're scaling housesports.com. Housesports.com is always the long goal. That's always the play. I'm trying to get people to understand we are a community of fans.
Yeah.
And if you don't like what you see right now, help us build a new one.
Yeah.
We'll tear it down and build a better one. But we want you to feel comfortable. How do I make you feel more comfortable as a Tennessee Vols fan? How do I make you feel more comfortable as a Grizzlies fan on House Sports? And what do you want to see? But we've set up House Sports in the MVP model to be very combative. People can say, hey, Virginia Cavaliers Nation, we're about to kill y'all tonight. And everybody in Cavs Nation will see that. And they can respond to that person in Vols Nation that said that.
Yeah.
And if they really like their commentary or they just like to have a little friendly feud, they could subscribe to that person. And we call it being a fan of them on House Sports. You don't follow anybody. You're not a friend of them. You are a fan of them.
Yeah.
So you fan someone, they fan you back. Now you have a mutual fanship.
Yeah.
And someone says something of intrigue, we have it set up that a like is not a like, it's a cosign in House Sports. So we want everything to kind of resemble sports fan culture.
Yeah.
We don't want to be overly cheesy though, but I want fans to come home to House Sports.
Yeah. Awesome, bro. Last question for you. Explain your shirt to me.
No bandwagoning. That's the secret sauce. It's kind of like our just do it. All right. So we're defining what it means to be a true sports fan through the user experience. So if you sign up for a housesports.com account, let's say you join NCAA football nation like Tennessee Vols, you cannot root for the Tennessee Vols and the Memphis Tigers. You will be a part of one nation per category.
Yeah.
So NCAA football, one team. NBA, one team.
No
NFL, one team. Unless you create another user account. We like more user accounts, but right now it's no bandwagon.
No
It's
bandwagon.
baked into the actual site. You cannot leave that family. You're born into it. You're gonna die on it on
Yeah.
house sports. But I found that most fans have been very, very receptive to no bandwagoning on our platform, except when we get to the NBA.
Yeah.
That's when you get people who are fans of players.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of LeBron. LeBron goes from Cleveland to Miami. I'm wherever he's at. Okay.
Okay.
And then I'm a Lakers fan. And now we got to embrace all of these people who are supposed to be the new contingents to Laker Nation fan.
So if he was still in Cleveland, you would have came in here with a Cavaliers jersey on.
I'm not a LeBron fan. I was a Kobe guy.
Oh, I thought you said you was.
No, I'm not.
Oh,
but I'm saying on the NBA level of fans, the type of demographic of fans, like that's when we see people being a fan of the player.
I feel you, because I was going to say that goes against the no bandwagon.
It truly does, and really, it rubs me the wrong way because people aren't diehard Lakers fans. I devoted my fanship. I should make that something. What day did you devote your friendship? What day did it get real? But growing up in Memphis, man, didn't have the cable, but we did have ABC.
Yeah.
And man, I think it was 96, 97, Vlade Divac, Nick Van Exel. They were playing on ABC, and Shaq had just got traded over there. And man, they weren't good, but I liked them, and I could see them. So I started to root for the Lakers, man. Yeah. And eventually, Kobe got better. Things started to ascend, and we ended up getting that championship. So later on, the Grizzlies came to Memphis. And people were like, yo, if the Grizzlies come to town, if the Lakers come to town, who you rooting for? And I've been answering that question for the last 20 years, man. So no bandwagon has been a thing. Yeah.
Man, this has been a dope conversation, bro. Like, I'm definitely inspired, bro. Do you have a little bit more inspiration in you?
Yeah, what's up?
Bro, lead the people with the word of inspiration, bro. Something that's going to take them from idea to execution, from A to B, to take that step, to jump off the porch and go after their dreams.
Don't be a perfectionist.
Don't
be a perfectionist. Start now. Begin iterating, as I would call it. Put out something. It might be ugly, but let people see it. Don't be afraid of it and hold it till it's at its perfect peak, to show the community. But you don't want to lose people who want to support you. And I found that sometimes if you have a little bit of momentum and people see your end goal, you'll have people assisting you in all walks of life. And call it an omen, call it a God, call it a spiritual alignment. But you could have a yellow brick road appear in front of you if you just stay true to yourself. Begin today and don't be afraid of making mistakes because you can have someone join you who'll point out those mistakes for you. Yeah.
Awesome. Dope. Can't close it out no better than that. Hey, y'all, remember to follow the I Got Dreams podcast on all social media platforms. Also follow my man Devin on House Sports everywhere, right?
Yes, sir. At House Sports on Instagram. That's where you're going to see everything. Or blog.housesports.com right now. Let's do it.
Yes, sir. Hey, this has been another dope episode of the I Got Dreams podcast. I'm your host, Mike Davis Jr. Hey, I love y'all. Have a blessed and wonderful day. Peace. Bam. Thank you for listening to this episode. I know you just received a lot of value. So look, here's what I want you to do now. Go to our social media platforms on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok at I Got Dreams Podcast everywhere, and like, comment, subscribe to all those channels, and let's continue the conversation on there. Look, I told you before, we are creating the ultimate accountability group for entrepreneurs, and we want you to be a part of that group. So go ahead, like, comment, subscribe to our channels at I Got Dreams Podcast everywhere, and we'll see you there. Peace.